Hi, fourth graders. Mrs. Tiemersma here for another writing club lesson. It is lesson number 4. Last time I taught you my favorite lesson, how to stretch out your writing, how to elaborate by thinking of new subtopics using who, where, when, why, and how to add specific details. So I forgot to show you our informational checklist. These are the things I taught you last time. Elaboration. I taught my readers different things about the subject. I chose the subtopics because they were important and interesting. So think about, how did you do on that last time? Yes? Yes? Starting to, or not yet? I also included different kinds of facts, details, such as numbers, names, and examples. So you should really be looking at your writing and using this checklist to help you to make sure you're writing like a fourth grader. These are all the things that you need to write like a fourth grader. So today, new lesson, I'm going to teach you about transitions. So transitions, you have been learning about them your whole life. You know, way back in kindergarten, it used to be first, next, last. But now you're in fourth grade, and we need to use fourth grade transitions. So I'm going to read to you the informational writing checklist, and then we're going to practice putting it in our writing. So the checklist says, I used words in each section that helped readers understand how one piece of information connected with others. How they connect. If I wrote this section in sequence, I used words and phrases such as before, later, next, then, after. If I organized the information in kinds of parts, I used the words such as another, also, for example. So here's a chart that I put in, or your teacher put in your packet for Wednesday, today, I think. And it just gives you some suggestions and ideas of transitions you can put in your writing. And so this is a little blurry, but so when you're beginning a section or a chapter or even a paragraph, these are some of the ones you could use, like in the first place, to begin with. So I like these better than just first, next. Using a phrase sometimes makes it a little bit more grown up. So if you're connecting ideas, if you're moving from one idea to another idea, you kind of have to connect them. And so you could say another reason why, additionally, furthermore. I love that one. It makes you sound really smart. Furthermore, for instance, for example. And then there's some more down here. And then near the end of your chapter, you can use this to write your conclusion. Like, in conclusion, to sum up, to summarize, to wrap it all up. Therefore, you can see why. So these are some good choices. I would even maybe take a marker and go through here and see how many of these you can use. Maybe challenge yourself to use different ones. That's what they have to do in high school. They have to use so many different kinds of transitions. Okay, here is my chapter book, and I'm on this section called The French and Indian War. It's in my first chapter about how it all began. I'm going to have a few different headings, like unfair taxes, French and Indian War. Last time I added patriots and loyalists, which I haven't written yet. But today I want to really focus on the transitions. So it's always a good idea to go back in your writing and look at your transitions. A lot of kids, and maybe grown-ups, they have their favorite transitions and they use them over and over and over. For instance, a lot of people, or a lot of kids I see say, and then, and then, and then, and then. Well, first of all, you shouldn't start a sentence with and that's really boring to keep using the same transitions, especially when we have all these great transitions to use on your sheet, right? That one. There. The other transition I see a lot is so, which I notice I say a lot, but we shouldn't write it a lot. So I'm going to show you my transitions, and I have a variety. It's not everybody does it the exact same way, but I want you to kind of stretch yourself and see if you can try some new ones. So sometimes they're phrases. So I began this section with, it all started back. So that's a transition. It gets me started. In fact, it was getting crowded in the colonies. So I was being specific. And then I used, at the end I said, therefore the French joined with the Indians and fought the British for the land. And you notice that most of these transitions, if it's a little phrase like this, you're going to put a comma. Or even if it's one word like therefore. And down in this paragraph I used, for example, comma, you have to pay the soldiers and their food and their uniforms. And then at the end I said, however, comma, the British thought this was worth it to gain more land for their colony. And then in my little final paragraph here, notice how this section is 3 paragraphs. They don't all have to be the same. You need to decide. But it definitely should be more than one. Then down here I said, finally, the British won the war, and everyone was thrilled until they looked at the bills. And then that kind of transitions me into the next section called unfair taxes, because it's about the bill. So even this, I'm going to highlight that. It's definitely not on the list, but it is a way to transition or connect to the next section. So down here I forgot to do this one. Furthermore, he put taxes on everything they were using and buying. So I need to highlight that. So I use furthermore. And then here at the end, oh no, I have some more, I forgot. For instance, he made them pay taxes on stamps, papers, playing cards, tea, sugar. So that's kind of another way to say, for example, for instance. They're pretty similar. And then down here I said, you can probably see why the colonists were not happy with the king of England. They started to get more and more upset with having to pay all those taxes. So, 4th graders, so today when you go work on your writing, go back and look and maybe highlight with the highlighting tool to see if you have a lot of different kinds of transitions and try to fix them up. Make sure you're not starting sentences with and. Also make sure you're writing in like good sentences and good paragraphs. 4th graders shouldn't be writing like all run-on sentences without punctuation. You should see a lot of punctuation in your writing. They should have every sentence needs to have a good subject and predicate, just like we learned about this year. So just go back and fix up what you have so far and then keep writing your chapter book. Maybe you're on chapters 2 or 3 by now. I don't know. But we are so proud of you for working so hard at home. Keep up the good work, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.